Welcome sa ating next lesson video. Ito po ay about sa percent and percent statements. Okay? So, let's get right on to it. Ang target skills natin in this video is to define what percent is, then express percent as decimals and decimals as percent, so vice versa. Also to define percentage or portion, and then rate or percent, and the base. What are those things? I-define natin yan mamaya. And lastly, to identify the base, percentage, and rate in a problem or in a percent statement. Okay? Without further ado, let us start. So first, you want to visualize what a percent is. I'm pretty sure you've heard of percent in a lot of different discussions throughout, well, your life. Na po. But let's have a small example here. Joanna took a written test, which had 100 questions. She answered 91 of those questions correctly. Now, there are many ways that we can express her correct answers. We can say, well, 91 out of 100. That would mean that out of 100 questions, she got 91 correct. Or as a ratio, 91 is to 100, as we have discussed in the previous video. If you watched that, if not, watch it now. Okay, and then our fraction is 91 over 100. Okay, and as a fraction of the question answered correctly and the total number of questions. So we can express all of those in that way. But we can also express it as a percent. Now, if we made little squares for each of the questions and then highlight in yellow or shade in yellow the correct answers that she got, we would have this kind of figure, right? And then that would be 91%. We would call it 91%. Okay, so that's how you visualize a percent. Okay, it will look kind of like this. Out of 100 boxes, how many are shaded? That's how we visualize the percent. Okay, so you just count. If you count all of that, that's 9 rows. This is a 10 by 10 square. So there are 10 rows and then there are 10 columns. And then if you count all of the yellow squares, that would be 91. Or alternatively, you can count the non-yellow squares and that would be 9. 100 minus 9 is 91. You get a picture. Okay, so now it's your turn. Pause this video and then count or write the percent of each of these ones. Go. We're back. Okay, so what are the correct answers in all of these? Okay, if you count all of those, this one will have 4 rows highlighted, so that's 40%. This one has 6 small squares highlighted, so that's 6%. This one has a small square of 5 by 5, 5 rows and 5 columns, so that's 25. That's 25%. And then this one has 8 rows, 8 columns, shaded, that is 80% or 80% symbol. Now let's go to definitions. Defining percent. Percent is a special ratio. Okay, again, ratio is a comparison of two quantities. It is a special ratio in which a number is compared to 100 to 100. Okay, so parang ratio siya, pero ang second term niya, laging 100, whatever the first term is. So that is a percent. Now, percent means hundreds. Okay? Remember decimals? Or per 100. Like for every 100, there are this like something like this. The percent symbol is read as percent. So that's why this 91% symbol, we call that as 91%. Okay? Or 91 out of 100, 91 hundredths, 91 per 100. Ganun po yun. Okay? So, if you're thinking of percent, you're thinking of the base 100, 100. Now, how do we change the decimals to percent? Now, to change the decimal to percent, it's simple. You just move the decimal 2 places to the right and write the percent sign, or the decimal point 2 places to the right. Okay? So like, look at this. 0.25 became 25% because you just move it two times here and then that will become 25%. But the truth isn't that simple. What you're really doing is you're multiplying by 100%. Okay, 0.25 times 100, that's 25 plus the percent symbol, so that's 25%. Pero for shortcut's sake, you can just move the decimal points two places to the right and then put a percent symbol there, you're done. Like for example, 0.256, move two places, 1, 2, and then put the decimal point there, then add the percent, you'll have 25.6%. I hope that's very clear. Now, it's your turn, right? To change the decimal to percent, you just have to move the decimal place, two decimal point two places to the right, and then write the percent sign. So all of these four numbers, go ahead. You're back. Okay. So these are the answers. If we move two places to the right, we would have 95% of this one. If we move two places to the right here, that will go through 9 and 5, giving us 95.3. And then this one is 0.8. There's only one number, but we can still move twice. Just put a 0. So that's 80%. Okay? Mag-a-annex tayo ng 0 doon para maka-move yung ating decimal point. And then 3.75 is equal to 375%. Yeah, that's very clear. Okay? Sige. Now let's do the other. Balik na natin. From percent, let's go to decimal. Now to change a percent to decimal, you just have to move the decimal place or decimal point two places to the left and write the percent sign. Ganun lang po. So like for example, 5%, right? So there's a decimal point, invisible decimal point here after the 5. If you move that two places to the left, it would give you 0.05. Okay, but the truth is what's really happening is that you are dividing by 100, like 5 divided by 100. If you do the math, you will get still 0.05. But for shortcut's sake, you can just move it two places to the left. Like for example, here in 120, there's an invisible decimal point after the 0. Move it two places to the left, you will get 1.2. Okay? Now it's your turn. How about 0.7% and 275%? Pause this video, then answer. Okay, you're back. So what are the answers? What's the answer for this one? Well, we can just write here. We have 0.7% is if you move two places to the right, I mean to the left. I should be to the left. So this should be, if you move two places there, you will annex this 0 and then one more 0 here. That's why there's two zeros before the 7. So 0.007. And then here there's an invisible decimal point. You move two places to the left. It will go here between 2 and 7, giving you 2.75. I hope that's clear to you. Alright? So if not, if that's not clear to you, go back, watch it again. You can always do that. Okay? Now, the target skills we've discussed, we have done the define percent, what percent is. It's there, review it if you want. We also learned how to express decimals as percents and percents as decimals and so on. And now, let us do the last parts, which is to define the percentage or portion, rate or percent, and then the base. These are parts of what I call a percent statement. Again, it's only what I call it. I don't know if other people call it that way, but Sir F or Teacher Francis would call it as a percent statement. So let's first, before we go to all of that action, I'll have you take a look at a percent statement. So these two are percent statements, but that's for later. So 33 is 50% of 66. It defines there's a percent there, there's a base there, and then there's a percentage there. So let's go to definitions. Okay, the percentage, otherwise called the portion, is the variable in the percentage formula that represents a part of the base. So it represents a part of the base. It is what we're talking about. It is the thing, it is the main thing that we're talking about in that problem. Okay, the percentage or the portion. Okay, now the rate defines what the percentage is of the base in percent form. It forms a ratio. Ano ang ratio? Kung 100 yung base, right? Ano ang ratio niya compared doon sa percentage? So, itong rate na to, ito yung may percent symbol. Okay? This one has the percent symbol, the rate. We also call the rate as the percent. Katulad ng sinabi natin kanina. So whatever we use to define percent, we can use to define this rate. And then finally, the base. What's the base? The base is the number that represents 100%. Okay? Or the total value of something. Okay? Or the whole thing. All of those are definitions of the base. Siya yung buo, kabuuhan. Now, the base is usually preceded by the word of, and the reason why that is in the statements is because it is being multiplied by the rate. So let's take a look here at our last objective, which is to identify parts of percent statement. Again, if you didn't get all of that, you can read it, pause this video, read that, absorb, and then move on to the next so that we can understand more of these. Now, this is saying the first percent statement. It says that 33 is 50% of 66. It's telling us something. Sinasabi niya sa atin na ang 33 number ay 50% ng 66 or the number 66. Okay, so that's a percent statement. It's a complete percent mathematical statement. Okay, so this 33, that is what we're talking about. Okay, the 33, that is the percentage or the portion. Okay po. Now, we usually find the percentage last kasi mas madaling hanapin ang rate at ang base. For example, look at this. 50%. Of course, that's the rate or the percent. Why is that the rate or the percent, sir? Because it has a percent symbol. See? And then 66 is the base. How do you know that's the base, sir? Because it is preceded by the word of. Lagi siyang may of before the base. So, of 66, that means the base is 66. It means siya yung pinagbabasehan nung percentage. Okay? So, after you find the rate and then the base, you can finally find, oh, so 33 is the percentage or the portion. Let's look at the second one. 20% of 180 is 36. 20%, that is your rate or percent because it has a percent symbol. Simple, right? And then 180 is the base because it has the word of. So it's not rocket science, it's very easy to understand. But again, if you don't, you can always rewatch this video and hear me several times. If you still don't get it, chat me up. I'm always online. Alright, and then 36 would be the last thing we name, and it's going to be the percentage. Okay po? Alright, so let's try it out. You try it out, okay? So identify the percentage rate and based on the following statements. You can underline them or whatever. Just copy them and say what is the rate, base, and the percentage in this context. You're back. Okay, so in number one, we'll start with the rate first. That's the 30%, right? Yan yung rate, yung 46% rate, and then yung 65% rate. Very simple. And then yung 50 is the base, 250 is the base, 48 is the base because they all have the word of before them. And we have no choice with 15, 115, and 31.2. All of those would be the percentage because they don't have the word of, they don't have the percent symbol, they don't have anything. So that's the percentage. So I hope you get those. All right. So we've done all of our target skills. We've defined percent, what it is. We have expressed percents as decimals and decimals as percents. We have defined percentage or portion, base or rate or percent, and then the base. And then we have identified sa isang percent statement, what's the base, what's the rate, and what's the percentage. Okay? So I hope all of those are very clear to you. If not, rewatch this whole video. And then finally, our extended learning activities would be for you to answer for percents and decimals. Go to page 298 to 299 of the 21st century soaring mathematics. and answer the let's work together A, B, and C, all of the problems there. Okay, all of the problems there. Let's work together A, B, and C. And then for the percent statement, since the book doesn't have that kind of activity, it's just the basic really. You're going to have this the next page, okay, which is this one. Again, this PowerPoint is uploaded in your Google Classroom. So go ahead and take that, and then you want to copy this, okay, and then identify nasan yung base, nasan yung rate, at nasan yung percentage. Okay, so I hope that you learned something in this video. If not, comment down below. If yes, comment down below, whatever. And then um, that's it for this video. And I will see you all in the next one. Ciao. Happy solving to you all.